Hey, looks like you.
And now we're live.
Looks like you're a bit cold there, my bro.
Yeah, flip. Like I was getting cold, yeah.
Hey,
It's freezing.
me too. Check, Bruce.
Yeah.
In the
So
hood,
I'm
in
just like,
here.
ugh. But I still
Yeah.
got my next Savannah, so
Nice.
mm.
My brother would love it.
So good. Let me share my screen with you. Um, cool. Oh, there's your face. Yep. um, right. Sorry,
Hey,
I'm like hearing doubles of myself because I'm watching myself on another stream. Cool. Anyway.
cool, my bro. I must quickly go push just that little bit that I did do
Yeah, I
quickly.
was gonna ask if you'd done that. So yeah, you do that, Salon. I'll go think about what to do next. So we've done this, we've done this, we've done this, and we've done this. But today we need to do this, and then another day we'll do step 5, ruling the world. I'll save that. There's your face. What am I doing? I should probably run this. No, I should wait for you to do your thing. I'll run that when you are ready. Maybe I should just go check the Firebase side of things. There we go. So we've got, we messed up somewhere here. Because there shouldn't be a room and a rooms. I wonder what caused that. Yeah, just let me know once you've done pushing, because you are currently muted, so I obviously don't hear you when you're speaking.
Cool. I'll tell you, my bro.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna try to look into that if we have like specifically just like room written in here. Or it should be collection room. Okay, maybe it was just a typo from our work yesterday. But there shouldn't be a room field here, so I'm going to get rid of that collection. We might have just accidentally made it during one of our hooks. So that's some good cleanup. Right. Otherwise, start another terminal here and just run start. Let's just stare at your face and watch you think deeply in committing and pushing code. It's like almost there. Classic. Oh yeah, that means I don't need this. If anyone is watching, say hi in comments and I will listen. Guess I could also go to GitHub and see our game over there. So all our source code is here. Yes, you did do stuff an hour ago. And 41 minutes ago. Yo, you've been busy. Okay, so you've actually...
Yeah, there, I'm sorted, bro. I
Okay.
just did I literally just did the button, dude.
Okay.
Yeah, I was cycling. I'll show you like what I was struggling with
So it's
in doing that stuff.
checking. Did you actually push it like right now?
Right now, it's busy pushing.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Because I'm just making sure online to see.
Still pushing. It'll be done now. Don't know why it's so
Weird that
slow
it's taking
today.
so long, yeah. Maybe it's just because you're on the call with me. Because I'm
No, bro.
expecting that
The
to
whole
be
day,
updated. Yeah,
the
you
whole
mentioned
day,
your internet is crappy.
it's been so shit.
That's why I was surprised you. Like, my internet's like, well, yeah, internet issues for a pull, like that shouldn't be too much of a download. It's quite little because it only usually pulls like the changes. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy, and now it's taking forever to just put.
It's okay. We will wait it out. Yeah, that filter task was a big one, so it's okay that you didn't get it. What button did you add again? It's just a back button. Or had we already done that?
Yeah, it was no. I added the back button, and then I just did some stuff for the rooms to look a bit cooler, like with each
Okay. Oh
room
yeah, you
owner.
styled the like list.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so today we're gonna look at assigning player X and player O. So that's gonna mean like in our game board, um, we'll have like another value in here. So we'll add a field and we'll have like, player X, and then you'll have the like user ID goes in here. And we'll have like another one like player Y, and have like user ID Y goes in there. So that's what we're gonna plan on doing, and then we'll pretty much do a bunch of stuff based off of that. So you're like, in general, those two values will be undefined, and if that value is undefined, then you as a user, like if
Yeah.
you're logged in, can join that spot, and then your ID gets put in there. But then you can also leave that spot, and we also want to give the host the ability to kick someone out of that spot. So yeah, that's pretty much how that's gonna work. And then we have a pretty decent setup going, because then you can do the checks of like, is the player who's logged in now, like, is player X logged in, like, are you player X, and is it player X's turn? And then only like if you are player X and it is player X's turn, can you do those updates? And that's gonna be cool, because yeah, then you can only like do stuff if you're the correct player. Turn with the actual name of the person as well. So there's like a bunch of little things we can do with that logic in there. Is it still going? So weird.
Bro, it said I need to sign in. That's why it's been taking so long. So I have to now go sign in.
Yeah, that's important. If you set up SSH, you don't have to sign in. But like, yeah, you need to read a tutorial for that. And that's how that will work. Because yeah, I can't start working on this until you push your stuff. Because if I start working on stuff now and then your stuff comes through, we'll probably have merge conflicts
Yeah.
because we're going to work on the same stuff. I guess you haven't worked on the hooks, right? You haven't touched those.
No, I haven't touched the hooks.
And I'll make a new one. So I'm gonna make a hook called. I'm undecided. What did I want to call it? So while we wait for that, let me know as soon as it is done. Just so that I can avoid catastrophe. So I'm gonna go look at the pages, and I'm gonna go to the room page, and we're gonna add in like 2 things. Maybe let's make it like right underneath the grid. And this is gonna be something that's gonna be homework for you to style. But for now, we're just gonna say, sorry, it should be a small p. I don't know, we'll put it strong here. Just making that part bold. Player X. And then it's gonna be like something like and NBSP would be like Barry, and then player O. Player O is gonna be Kevin. And basically what's gonna happen is well, I guess we can make like we can wrap this in like a span, which again can totally be styled. Just so that it's like the specific name here is like clickable, because we can add like an on click to that. So that's going to be a thing, but we also need to know if player X and player Y is occupied. So from we already have the room, we're able to get the room. So from room, we should be able to get player X and Y. So I'm going to add those values to the room typing thing. So we're going to have player X. I guess it would be the ID. Player X ID, that's going to be an optional thing, which will be a string, so a string for the ID. And then we'll have a player O ID. I guess I've got to be alphabetical now. Did I say player Y in here? I feel like in my head I'm thinking of player Y.
Yeah, you say player Y.
That's a totally legitimate mistake to make. No, I did say player O. Cool. Maybe I just spoke Y or something.
Yeah, you just spoke it, I think.
So we're going to assume that the database will carry that. So by default, those values will be undefined. So what we have, like how it's working now, is perfect. It's just as it should be. But yeah, what we want to say in here is I would say if player X ID exists, then we're gonna do like, you know, something like that. The player X, like we're gonna get their name. We're gonna make a new hook to get the user's name, like based off. Oh, I think we have a hook like that already, so we can use that. And then so that's if player X ID exists. Why can't you find player X ID? I put it in over here. Oh, I forgot to get it from here. So we have player X ID, and we're also gonna have a player O ID. Cool. If the person's not in here, we're gonna make a span and we're gonna say join. And this is gonna be like an on-click where we give the player the ability to join. So
okay, cool.
Same thing over here with this Kevin thing here. I'm just gonna say player Y ID. And for now, I'm gonna put in Kevin. We're gonna replace those names. Oh, there we go. I said player Y ID. Yeah, I'm gonna get confused. Player, it's player X and player O. It's, you know, that classic like math thing.
Yeah, my bro, it's pushed now finally.
Okay, cool, sweet. So see to git add then checkpoint. Oops, I made 2 things there. Now I will git pull. My mom watched last night's stream this morning, and she was like, "You said you were tired and stuff like this morning," and I was like, "I didn't say anything this morning about being tired." And it's like, she's like, "Yeah, and
Yeah.
you're a live stream." And I was like, "That live stream was last night. You just watched it this morning." Like, yeah, it makes sense for me to be tired at like 11:30.
Definitely.
Yeah, so that was funny.
That's
Um,
hilarious.
yeah, I'm not gonna look at your changes right now because I think, well, I guess the rooms. Wait, I don't know if that worked then. Did you okay, you made updates to components. What components did you make update to here? You made an H3, okay, that makes
Oh
sense.
yeah,
Okay.
just made some stuff there.
Okay. Wait, let
Yeah.
me run this. Let me actually just go see what you did. Okay, you did like an underline thing. Did you use like an actual border bottom there or?
Border button.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Yeah, you can make it look nice and have like yeah. What I meant is like have a sort of table thing, like user like
Oh
yeah,
yes,
user, and then like a title on the other
and
side,
title. Okay, cool.
like saying ID. Yeah,
Okay,
user
cool. I'll do that.
and room ID.
Okay, sweet. I'll do that.
Yeah, and then you can have it like so that the room ID takes up a certain width, and then the user takes up like the rest,
Okay,
stuff like
cool.
that. Because the room ID is always going to be 4 digits, so it will always fit like nicely. Um, yeah, but it's fine. It's good. And yeah, you got that back button as well. Okay, cool. So anyway, there we go. We've got these two options here, and the
Yeah,
options are like again, you can style this. So I'm gonna let you style that part.
cool.
So that you could have the play X and O, and then this part can be like a clickable like link kind of thing. But right now, I don't
Okay,
care about styling it.
cool.
I want to, yeah, the space over here as well doesn't need to be there,
Mm,
obviously. Right, what was I gonna do? Okay, so back to room. And you can you can make a styles folder in here for stuff specifically around,
okay,
like the stuff that goes in here is for stuff we'll reuse. And I don't think you're going to reuse this right now. So
cool.
yeah, you might want to get rid of that from there and just make styles pertaining to that room thing right in here. Cool. So that's the thing. But yeah,
Okay,
regarding this stuff, I think we have a hook for use current user. No, we have a hook for use user. So this is where we get a specific user at like with an ID.
okay.
So uh, I guess I'm gonna say, this is weird because you have to do your hooks like at the beginning. We can't put our hooks over here. We can't put them underneath these return statements. So
Mm,
I'm going to say const player x equals use user, and then we're gonna put the room dot player x ID. I want to go update this because we could potentially pass in undefined here as the ID.
okay.
So if this user ID is undefined, I gotta think. Flip.
Mm-hmm.
I guess yeah, the user is undefined by default. So again, if it's not found, it will stay not found,
Okay.
and that's okay, I think. I guess we can say if user ID exists. I only want to run this whole thing if user ID exists, because
Okay.
if it doesn't exist, then I don't want to even bother setting this up.
Cool.
So that only exists when user ID exists. Perfect.
Awesome.
So that's just some extra stuff here so that this makes sense.
Yeah.
If room's undefined, then the whole statement will be undefined.
Cool.
So player X is going to be that, and then const player Y will be the other one.
Player.
Player, yeah. Every time.
Yeah.
So freaking crazy. Okay.
My bro, just go back there quickly.
Black way.
Player O and room dot
Yeah,
player.
the wrong way
Yeah.
around. You're right.
There we go.
Thanks. That means we actually don't need these anymore. Because we'll just go and use if player X and player O.
Okay.
So now we can say in here player X dot display name.
Damn. Okay.
What is this output? It should recognize that. Let me just see this user thing. Okay, this is my user. My user does have a display name. They always have a display name. So why is it complaining? It might just be like thinking that, okay, because that player is potentially undefined. This makes no sense. What do you mean it doesn't exist on output? We have a is fetching user. So we have a user and a user, and I'm naming them these values. So
Okay.
yeah, you have the is fetching user.
Cool.
For the moment, I'm not gonna bother fetching the user. I'm just like, screw it.
Okay.
We'll see if this has problems. We'll deal with it. But right now, this is pretty good because we have like a player Y. Again, it's player O. My bad. So I'm gonna put in an on click here.
Yeah.
And this on click, I'm just being lazy now, but I'm gonna history.push to go to /u/ player X dot. We should have their ID in there as well, actually. Oh, I guess now that's where I can do the ID thing. Maybe I should use the ID stuff. I have the IDs over here.
Okay.
Oh, let me just put the room.player. Player X ID, like that. Cool. Right. Very strange. Maybe I'm going to go get those IDs. So crazy. I feel like such a mess. I'm like not talking properly while doing this. So I'm gonna say if player X ID exists and if wait, where's my player O? Oh, it's all the way down there. If player O ID exists, then this. That's why I did that. Okay, my bad. That's good. This I'm gonna leave like that. This. No, that's good. I'm gonna have a similar on click for this one.
All right.
And like this is just like that special thing of like okay, why is this complaining? Okay, this is fine. Why is this fine? Copy paste this whole thing. Okay, it's gonna go sit over here. So what this essentially does, it just means like, okay, if the player X like thing for the room is filled,
Yeah.
which there will be a found user. If there's a found user, then we want to show that user's name.
Yes.
And we also want to say if we click on them, like we'll make it into like a link thing later. We'll
Okay.
style it as a link. We want to make that link be like a history.push to the user's ID.
Okay.
And now join is where we need to create a new hook where we're going to say, like, let me just think of that hook. We basically say use join room.
Okay.
We'll make a hook called use join room. So just alphabetize this. Yeah, there we go. Nice. So I'm going to make a use join room hook. Okay, so use join room. This is going to have a function called join room that we're going to run. So that's what we're going to put in that like on click. We're going to join the
Okay.
room. That will
Cool.
have the parameter of what user ID we're going to join the room with.
Okay.
Okay, and then and this is for you, the current user. So we're actually going to have to go and get the current user as well because we need to put their ID in there.
Okay.
We'll do that like in a bit. And then I'm just going to add an is joining there.
Cool.
So that use join room will come from here. Oh, you're not alphabetical. Okay, cool. So I'm just trying to get this all out the way so that we can have
No
all the
problem.
UI in one place. So I want to have a use current user as well. Okay. There's so many aspects to this. So const user, or I guess we're gonna say current user, just to be more like specific. I think current user just returns like, yeah, it returns a Firebase user all now.
Okay.
What I want to say in here is instead of rendering that this specifically, I want to say if current user exists, then we'll have the join thing. Otherwise, just render login to join.
Okay.
Actually, our login to join could be its own span tag.
Okay.
Where we click on it and it goes to login.
Sweet.
Okay.
Awesome.
Why is it complaining? I see nothing wrong with this.
They log in to join. Oh no.
It's down there.
That's weird.
I don't think I need the brackets. There we go. Yeah, this is stuff like what I would do is I would put all these components into their own little component. But the point is, like, if I can show you this way, then it's a lot easier to just show you, like, it's so much messier to read. But what I would put in here is I'd put like I'd make a join like button, and then like a reusable thing where I just put in like for player X.
Okay.
Or yeah, I'd make like a player X join button and a player Y join button, and I'll put these two in their own components inside room. That's probably a good homework task as well.
Okay.
So let me say to do move each of these create join X button, or yeah, create player X button.
All right.
Or should I call it display? Player X display. And player Y display. So the display will say like, the name, or it will say the join, or it will say login to join. So if it's login to join, our onClick is going to be a history thing. And then like, again, I'm just shorthanding this. You can put them into their own functions.
Yeah.
But history.push you. I mean, they are very similar. So you could actually just make it so that like there's a like, you could make a prop saying player X or player Y, and if that's the case, you like whichever player it is. It's not supposed to be player Y, it's supposed to be player O. I keep saying that. Like player X or O.
Okay.
Like you can make your prop like that, but basically make one for X, then see how much of this is reusable if I just added a prop to say, whether it's X or O that goes in there, and then yeah.
Okay.
So I'll put like preferably, yeah, in big caps, like just one component with a prop to say X or O. There we go. You can figure that out.
Cool.
Right, and in here I'm gonna say this. I'm not doing that. I'm just pushing them to login. So I'm gonna go /login. So yeah,
Cool.
that's gonna push them to login. I want to do same thing with this one down here. So you can see it's so similar. It's like,
Yeah.
almost exactly the same. The only difference is which, like getting player O instead of player stuff. And you'll have to use the use room hook in there and stuff as well. But yeah.
Okay.
I mean, we could even move the grid into its own component
As well.
So yeah, if you wanted to like simplify it, just so that the room's easier to like navigate. But right now we're
Yes.
making a big giant mess of like just like
Okay. Sweet.
I want to make it work,
Yeah.
Okay, so the final thing we need to do is the join button. So on clicking here, this is where we're gonna say our join room thing, which we haven't built yet. And in here we're gonna add the ID of like we're just gonna add my current user as ID. So current user dot UID.
Okay.
So me as a user, I'm joining the room, and I'm just gonna put it down in this one as well. Again, completely the same. So yeah, now I need to go build my use join room.
Cool.
And the is joining, let's put that in as well. If it is joining, let me say ing, otherwise nothing.
Cool.
Crazy stuff. Sweet. Okay, now let's go build that hook.
Cool.
This is crazy. So I'm making a use join room function or hook. Say index.ts. And let's do this along just because we can. Say export default as use join room from /use join room like that. Okay, now for the big stuff.
Cool.
We don't use effect here because we're just running a function, so we just need use state from React. There we go. What else do we need? Sorry, thinking. So we definitely need DB from services.
Yeah. Oh, bro, I wanted to ask you, like when we last time did you remember the context, the user context and stuff?
Yeah.
That was like just another way also of like defining the state and stuff, correct? Is that right?
So remember the way context works
Yes.
is you basically have a provider,
Yes.
and everything in that provider, you can get that value from the provider using a hook. So we did that with the current user. That's why the current
Yeah.
user works, where it's like it's kind of monitoring a value.
Okay.
Um, so yeah, you can use it as like a state thing to pass down. Okay, we've used
Yeah.
it here as a custom hook, so you can use it
Yeah.
like as a custom hook to monitor a value. It's the only
Okay.
place where we use it. Like we've got it here. The rest of them we just do normal things.
Okay.
But yeah, you can also use it like to get like to hold a state value.
Okay.
Like you can use it, like we used it in the leaderboard app.
Yes, I remember.
Can go show you quickly. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, do you have a specific question around it, or
Mm-hmm. I just, yeah, like I just remember that.
I think we used it in contestants input. Yeah. Here I made a context with the
Yes.
name and the points and the setting abilities.
Yes.
And I wrap my whole thing in this context provider. It looks different because we're using JS here. But then
Yes.
in the name, I could use that same context that we created, like, just one up over here. I could use this context.
Yes.
And like, yeah, this is me creating the context where we created it. We set the state,
Yeah.
we set the values to equal the context values.
Yeah.
And over here, I could use name and set name and then call
Yeah.
them inside the function without passing any props down.
Okay. And now
So
that's what I wanted to say. So like in that whole like name and name point, set point,
yeah,
could you also have stuff like email or like
you can put
um
whatever you want in here.
okay.
Like, so we decided we needed a name and a point and a set name and set points, and we
Yes.
created those state values, and then
Yes.
we put those values in the context. So now instead
Okay.
of passing props down to name and points and submit, I could pass my props down to name. Like, I could just get name and set name from context, and then points. I could just get points and set points from the context, and then
Okay.
submit. I needed all of them because I needed to set name and points back to be empty again.
Okay, awesome.
And yeah, so you can use it like however you need.
Okay.
That's why it's useful for our hooks as well, because we had that
Yes,
like um, we wanted
sure.
to be able to access the current user whenever, but we only wanted to have one component updating it all the time, and that was like our outer
Yes,
hook for it. Yeah.
awesome. Cool.
Everything else we're just making we're adding like a user effect to the component.
Yeah,
But the current user, that's going to be used throughout the app. So we kind
cool.
of wanted to just be the same at one place and not kind of have multiple components looking for it.
Awesome.
I mean, we could do it with the room. You could wrap the whole room thing in, like, you could do the same thing that we did here. But you're not always going to be looking at the room. In the current user, we are actually like always looking at the current user. So yeah, there's different ways you can do it. It depends what makes the most sense. And as you understand these like life cycle methods, you'll be better equipped to make the right decision
Yeah.
on how you should use these things. So it doesn't take an input. We're gonna have a const is joining, set is joining to equal use state. It's gonna be false initially. We're gonna make the function join room. This is gonna take in the user ID that we want to add in. Must be there. We're gonna return is joining and join room. And
Cool.
yeah, just doing the normal stuff again, nothing new. And we need to have like a interface for this to say what output we're expecting. I mean, we don't need it, but like it will help us understand what's wrong with our code.
Okay,
There's something
cool.
wrong. So that's how I figured out what was wrong with that use user. I was like, okay, it's
Yes.
not correct. um, So join room is going to be a function that takes in a user ID, which is a string, and does nothing. Or it does something, it just doesn't return anything. So here we set is joining to true. True. We'll do our try and our catch. Catch will have an error, or console.error, the error if that happens. And then we'll have a finally, where we set is joining to false again, regardless of what happens. So the way joining is going to work is you're basically going to take the db.collection.room. Oh, we're going to have to accept the room ID as well. Or do we? We can use params. So we're going to say collection and we're going to look at rooms. We're going to say .doc, and the room ID we're going to get from params. So, because we did that with the actual use room, I think. Yeah. Got the room ID
Okay,
like that.
cool. I see.
Just because we know that whenever we're looking at a room, like we know that our app is structured in such a way. So this does make it less flexible, but it also means we don't have to pass as many values around because we know that this is the context of how we use this room thing.
Okay.
We'd obviously have to make this like a prop that you pass into, like you could pass it into there actually. Yeah, you can pass it into there, or you can pass it into here, or you could do the params thing that we did here. The point is this just prevents us from doing the params thing on the, like, you know, pages side.
Yeah. Okay, sweet.
Yeah. Cool. So did that. So I've got my room ID. So we're looking at that. And I want to set. I forgot that this is an asynchronous function. We're just gonna wait doing that. Why is this complaining? Right, ID like that. Well, no, we're not gonna set, we're gonna update, because set replaces the whole thing. And I just want to update I need to have a player in here, which will be symbol. So we need a player X and a player O, because if we look at our page, we need to know which to join room is what, you know. So in this case, I'm going to say X, and in this case, I'm going to say O. Already it's like, you know, TypeScript errors are fixed because this is like, you know, in place how it should be.
Yeah, check that.
I just need a import symbol from typings. Good. So I want to say this is like I'm gonna say if player equals X, then I want to look at key player X. Otherwise, I want to look at, and we're saying ID. Otherwise, we're looking at player O ID. So I think it's important for me to say, like, you know, now I'll type my ID here. But if I save that, what I'm essentially saying is, like, you know, you'd usually say something like, I don't know, like my key goes like this. My key, and then you'll say like something. So you can also do it like this. My key, say something. They mean the same thing, except this is a preferred syntax because it just looks nicer. But obviously in this case, we want to change the key based off of what happens. So I'm saying cool. Key is, you know, player X or player O ID. So it's really helpful syntax tip there. But yeah, basically if like it's just gonna set that player to be whatever whatever the user ID is, which we have from up there. So theoretically, this will all work now. I think I do want to like, yeah, I mean there's more because I want to kick a user off if they're on.
Yeah.
But if we look at our app now, I need to log in to join. So I click there, it takes me to the login page. I'm logging in. You can even do a thing where you go to a login and you add a parameter thing in there that says return to URL and implement something like
Okay.
that. But we'll do that another day. So let's go to my room. Now I can join as either player. And there we go, I've joined. It's probably gonna let me join there as well.
Okay, sweet.
So it lets me join there as well. We probably want to say a thing where you can't join, you know,
Yeah.
if like stuff is going on. But I think I'd like to do that stuff like that, the joining stuff after you've made it into a smaller component, just so that we, yeah, find it easier to see. If I can make that your
Okay,
homework,
cool.
that would be good homework because it's less about the styling, which we can do. We can improve styling, but like, you know,
Yeah.
convert these into like a component, and then also like make a comment, making a comment here that says move this to its own component.
Okay.
So if you can do those two things, then suddenly we
Cool.
have it like a lot easier to understand like what's going on, because I think I want to add like additional things in here to say, you know, if you are currently, yeah, what I essentially want to do is like, I mean, I'll update my Firebase for this, but like have something where Mr. Example and Barry play against each other, and only if you are logged in and you are that person. Like, so we want to check if the current person's
Yeah.
ID matches the player whose turn at ID is, then they can do something. So let's put that in so long. So that's going to be on the handle click. So here we're going to do like all of this, perfect, but we're going to add another case. So now we're going to say also if current user dot uid is equal to I guess where do I find the person's turn? Is it in here? Player turn. Yeah, I need that player turn value. So I think I need to do, okay, I'm going to do two separate if statements. So that happens, cool. But now I want to have an additional if statement. So I'm just like kind of splitting it up so it's easier to read. So I'm going to say if player turn equals X and current user dot uid equals player X ID, then we want to run this. And then I'm going to say an or thing, which is crazy. Or the same thing, but for player Y, like, or player O, sorry. And yeah, just make a question mark if it's stuff. Does that make sense?
Yeah, sort of.
So I'm saying if player turn equals X and the current ID, the current like,
Yes,
and
is equal
I
to it.
the same ID as player X, then I
Yeah.
can mark the board.
Okay, cool.
So I want to go to Firebase and just kick me out. Because I think theoretically I can test this whole thing now. So okay, first of all, that totally didn't work. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong board. That's why. So I'm just going to remove that because that's bull data. But yeah, there I got the 2 player IDs. So I'm gonna kick O out, and I'm gonna open. So this should update. I think if I rerun that, yeah, I think I need to. No, the room. I think it would have updated automatically. I don't know. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have 2 pages. And now I'm going to flip. Can I log out, log in as the example guy? And now I'm going to join. I think I'm on my room. Yeah. So if I join now as Mr. Example, I get joined there.
Awesome.
Okay, cool. So now we can test it. We'll clear the board. And it's X's turn. So it means that only I can click. If this person clicks, nothing happens. Because I'm
Awesome,
Mr.
yeah.
Example here. But if I click here, still nothing happens. Flip.
Okay.
This is where it's helpful to see who I'm logged in as.
Yes.
To just say, like, so let me add a little thing at the top here. I'm just going to do this here for, like, the heck of things. And be, like, just make a little p tag. Say, logged in as, I'll say current user dot display name. There we go. And I'll say, like, if current user, just so that that's there. And then theoretically this question mark's not needed. So if they're logged in, then I will say that they're logged in as someone. No, I think that's the problem, maybe. So it's not picking up me as the current user.
Oh, I see that.
Why? Should. Join room. So why is it not picking me up? Let me console.log the current user. That could be the problem here, that we're not getting the current user guy in here. Okay. This is my state. Okay, so display name is null for some stupid reason. The UID. Okay, that's a thing. Oh, so many things, dude. Okay. Why is my display name null? I need to make updates to my current user hook. Sorry. I'm just thinking. So I know why it's not working. Or I know why the logged in thing is not working. I need to set myself to not be this user, or like I should be this user. So this user all states here, but the user that I'm going to put in here, flip. I'm so confused. So what I need to do is, I think from here I can get the UID and say set, over here I'm going to say user ID and set user ID.
I was gone there for a little while. Sorry.
Okay, you missed important stuff. um,
Damn.
this user ID thing is going to either be undefined or it's going to be a string. Okay, cool. And what I'm going to do is have a use effect, which I need to get from up here. I don't need any of the cleanup, but the input is going to be if user ID changes, then I want to flip. I don't think I need the use effect actually. Const user is going to equal use user, and we're going to put the user ID in there. Oh, I've confused myself heavily, dude.
Sure.
So that user display name stuff isn't actually linked to the Firebase user, it's linked to another user,
Okay.
like, you know, thing. Wow, it's so crazy. Okay, that doesn't need to be there. So, okay, user could potentially be null. It's fine. I'm just gonna say u.uid there. Perfect. And then this user, instead of it being a Firebase user, we're gonna make it like a user from typings.
Okay.
Like one of our, you know, proper users. Well, they can either be that or they can be undefined. Yeah, because that's what this is, right? Yeah, this user could either be that or undefined. So we'll make it undefined by default. There we go. Okay, so progress. Yeah, this is crazy. So we don't know if issues will go wrong here or not. We'll find out. This part. Thinking. I'm gonna make it so that our use user, that this user over here has an ID.
Okay, cool.
Their ID will be string, and yeah, obviously they need to have a string ID. And that means we need to go to this hook. So many like cleanup stuff now, and it's like, you know, we spaghetti stuff right now. It's a mess, but it's okay. So we're setting this user to doc.data. Like we're spreading that, and we're also gonna say the ID is gonna match the user ID. That's what we return for the user object. User, like it has an ID now. Okay, great, wonderful. That means everywhere else we have a user, we have an ID for them. This means that we can say current user.id.
Okay.
And current user.id. Nightmarish. And then here as well, we're gonna say .id. Okay, and what else is this complaining about? Everywhere we have user.uid, we're gonna say user.id because we now have that user ID in our use user hook. Because we didn't actually have a user UID, I think. Well, from use current user, we had one, but like, yeah, we changed it to user.id. Okay. Let's see, where else does our code have problem? It has it here. There's a nice thing about TypeScript is it tells you where all the issues are. We wouldn't have had this in JavaScript.
Yeah, it's very cool.
So I'm just like scrolling about and fixing it everywhere. Okay, our app is running again. Let's see if okay, cool. There we can see I'm logged in as Mr. Example there. I think the problem now is when I log out here,
yeah,
it logs out on both screens. Why is it not logging out? The log out button's broken. Why? Is there an error message happening when I try to log out? Let me go log out from here. So logging out seems to be not working now.
That's so weird.
Why? Oh, no, it is logged out. Maybe it was just taking long to load. I don't know. Okay, but basically, I think what's happening is when I log in as me, it logs in here as well.
Okay, yeah.
So what I probably should do is log in as a different browser. So here is Firebase, Firefox. This might work. It might not work. It might just be like so good at knowing. Here's some typical browser bugs where cross-browser heights work differently. So yeah, but at least we know that works. So now we can log in as. Let me just find out who I was in here. We were join Barry's room. I'm logged in as me. Great.
Cool.
Over here, I'm going to log in as example. I was at hi.com, right? I think. Otherwise, I'll just make a new guy.
Yeah. Was it, yeah, Mr. Example or something?
That worked.
Alright, cool.
So I'm joining Barry's room. And yeah. So now here I'm logged in as Mr. Example, logged in as me. If it's X's turn, which X is me, then I can play here. And now I can't play again. But O's turn, I can play here.
What?
And now I can't play again until it's X's turn. Can play there. And then play that. And the X wins.
Jeez.
Then you can clear the board. I mean, both people can clear the board still, so that's the thing. We could make it so that they can only clear the board when it's done. You know, you can do that.
Cool.
Yeah, there's a bunch of little things you can do now, but I think that's a really good place to stop because we did so many crazy things.
Yeah.
But another one is you can put the display names turn in here if you wanted to.
Yes, of course.
But yeah, you can view this logged in as who you are, which is like somewhere else, like the bottom of the app or at the top of the app or something. Like,
jeez.
Into like you can move it into the layout component if you wanted to.
Awesome.
But I mean, yeah, this is like the point where it's like, holy flip, we did it. We made it so different devices are different, and it's amazing that you can go into a different tab and you're still logged in. Like,
that's crazy.
It's like if I went into this tab.
Sure.
Yeah. Now it says I'm not logged in as
anyone. Yeah.
So Firefox and Chrome work differently. I mean, I guess Chrome is by Google and so is Firefox, so they probably have that they have the web service stuff there to deal with that. But yeah, you can also see we've got those browser issues now where it works nicely on one thing but not the other. But yeah, so that was pretty insane. Yeah, so if you could do all the cleanup for homework vibes to
Yeah.
understand what's going on, again, I think putting these two into their own components so that you can style them easily
Yeah.
would be really good. So it's
Cool.
going to be simply like the only prop that needs to go in here is player X or O. I think the
Okay.
rest you can do from just putting hooks inside the component that you create.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think you actually need to put any other, like, you literally, if you look at the page, room, like this whole thing is just going to be like
Yeah.
called grid,
Okay.
or like call it board, you know, and you can put the whole grid into that board component that we make.
Okay.
And then this p tag is just going to be again like player display, and then you're going to have player equals x, sorry, and you'll have a, oh, it should be a capital X, and player equals y. Like that's just all you need, because the
Oh.
rest of the details, like the join room and the history and
Yeah.
like all that stuff you can get from just putting hooks in. And yeah, so
Okay. Yeah.
then
That
it'll be
it'll
much
be a
simpler.
yeah. I'll have to see how to do it because it's quite tricky for me still.
Yeah, you can even put this clear button like in there, I think, because handle clear
Where would I put those components now once I make them?
in here. So I'll just make a new folder in room, like
In room. Okay.
player display. So because they're only for this page, you just stick them
Yes.
in here. If they're going to be
Okay.
reused across the app, then you put them in components.
Okay. I understand.
It's kind
Okay.
of like a good practice to hold.
Okay. Sweet.
Yeah, and then it will be much easier to style that and add extra functionality to it,
Cool.
like, you know, kicking someone out and
So they
deleting
just
them.
so we just put those in the rooms, eh? That's it. Okay. Sweet.
We can even make it simpler, like to the point where you have player display,
Yeah.
but then you have like you have the player name component, and then you have the join component, and then you have the login, like login join component, and have them
Okay.
their own little components inside the player display component, so that it's
Okay.
easier to like see what the options are. So you can go next level and put them into even smaller components like that if you want to.
Okay. I wanted to ask you a favor, my bro.
Yeah.
If you had the time, could you maybe just give me like a quick demo on, the it was in our rooms index,
Yeah.
and over there by the H1 underneath it, the rooms.map,
Yeah.
to put that into its own component.
So I
Like,
wanted you to put
yeah,
I wanted you to make this its own component.
that. Okay.
So you make a new folder called
Inside the
room,
rooms as well.
and you do an index.tsx, and you put this in there, and then you say room, and in here you can spread room. You can either spread room or you can say room equals room.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Shut up, Siri. What you do here when you do the component, you'll say like const components equals, and then in the props here, this
Yes.
is the props that we have are gonna be, it's gonna be FC, and you're gonna have room in here, and then because it's
Okay.
room, then you can just get ID and owner from there, and then you do the whole thing like that.
Okay.
And
And do the
obviously it
whole
gets your
return and everything.
history, if, like, you basically, the handle click, you can I know that handle click doesn't go there, but the history.push thing here, you need to go put the history,
Yes,
in
of course.
here
Yeah.
as
I'll
well.
do that.
Honestly, I'm just like, making a
Cool.
mess of things, but like showing you how it would kind of broadly look.
Okay,
Yeah,
sweet.
so that's what I meant.
Okay, cool. And then that also similar to what I must do with the others in a way.
Yeah,
Cool.
exactly.
Okay, sweet. That sounds
So-
awesome. And that's the first stuff I'm going to tackle then now.
Yeah,
No?
sorry, it's a
Cool,
lot,
dude.
but it will
No.
help you.
Yeah, it'll
It
help me
helps a lot, and
understand a
just
lot,
like,
bro.
yeah, because it basically forces you to read over what every little thing does.
Yes.
Yeah, because what we did now is pretty crazy.
Yeah.
But essentially, if you think about it from the data side of things, all we did was added, if we go to rooms and we look at a room, is we added it's not in this room, but we added a player O ID and a player X ID. And because we're able
Okay.
to do that using what we have already, where we have the users and we have the room, you can do what you need to, like, around that. Like, we can see that, okay, cool, like I was able to see, okay, I am that player, or that
Yeah.
player doesn't exist, so I can join, or I can only join when I'm logged in. So if I'm not logged in, I can't join. Instead, it sends me to the login page first.
Yeah.
Again, that's what we can maybe do at the login page, is set some parameter thing where it says return to URL,
Sure.
which will
Okay.
be pretty cool. That's like a video on its own.
Sure. Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, we can
Sweet.
maybe, yeah, no, let's see how you do with this tomorrow.
Yeah.
If you don't like get anywhere with this,
Yeah.
then we can like address it a bit more so that you can keep
Yes.
doing that as homework, and then the addressing
Cool.
part will be quite simple, but the like the login thing can do its own thing. Then if you aren't able to get anywhere with this, if you do like get really far with this stuff, then we can add
Cool.
more features upon what we had, because then
Okay,
you'll have a
sweet.
good like idea of what's all going on.
Okay, sweet, my bro.
Yeah, but this
Awesome.
is cool. Just thinking, tomorrow night I'm busy,
Yeah.
but I'm also like, I think I'm busy till like, again, like 9:30. I don't know.
Oh, just let me know, my bro. I'm super chilled.
Yeah, we could
So
do like a lunchtime, like,
yeah, that'd be
stream
amazing.
at like 1.
That'd be great.
Cool. Let's do
Mhm.
that, and then yeah, again, we'll
Okay,
see how far
sweet.
you get with this. If this isn't like, again, if you don't get anywhere with this, we can do that the login like
Yeah.
router thing, because that
Okay.
would be quite cool. Like, where we just add some functionality to our thing, where we say, like, basically what will happen is in the app you'll have like /login,
Yeah.
but then you have a question mark / return to equals like and this will equal pretty much, well, there's no things in there, it's just localhost 3000 / what will it return to, like /r /AAA. And then when it sees that, only upon logging in, like the user changing, if this URL is this,
Yeah.
we will like go to that.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay. That's quite, yeah.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool to do.
Jeez.
I don't actually think that will take really long. So
Okay,
yeah, we'll
cool.
just
That'll be
see
awesome.
how tomorrow goes with this.
Sweet.
Could be very much like a cleanup session.
Awesome.
Yeah, sweet. But
Looking
yeah,
forward to it.
okay. Guess I'll say goodbye to YouTube now by viewing people.
Good night.
Yeah, wait, where's your face? Where's your face?
Good night.
Good night or good morning, depending on where you are.
Yeah.
And yeah, bye, mom.